What was the general mood in the country at the time of the Great Depression?
Well, I would say it was very, people lived very sincerely, and they were very much religious minded, and they put their trust in God.
Were people patriotic or more negative about the American government?
No, they were very, very patriotic.
What was the fashion like?
Well, the fashion was very simple. We probably had 2 dresses for every day, 1 dress for Sunday, and things were very simple.
Do you think clothing was more for practicality or self-expression?
I think it was more for practicality.
What were some of your meals that you ate?
They were all meals that were gotten out of the garden. Nothing was bought, and they were simple meals. We had very good meals because we had our own meat, pork, and beef, chickens, ducks, and the vegetables were from the garden, as I said before. And, well, should I say, desserts were very simple.
And was the city like people, or was this just for like farmers and stuff, like they ate their own meat? Do you think people in the city like had to buy food and stuff?
Oh yes, they had to buy it, I'm sure.
Okay, were your parents scared about these times?
No, I don't think so. At least it didn't appear that to me. That you must remember now, I was only a small child, but I never felt that my parents were ever worried or scared. There was always enough food to eat, and we were satisfied with our clothing, and I can't think of anything else. But then I think of heating the homes. Now, our home was heated with wood, so it was a big chore to get all the wood from the big woods and chop it up and put it in a small house where we could get it in the wintertime, and that was our heating.
How did life in your community change during the war?
Well, should I say probably we were more caring about each other, and now you're talking about World War II.
Yep.
Okay. I would say we were very concerned. Now, can I tell a story about my time in high school?
Yep.
I was in high school at that time, and during the main part of the war, I graduated in '43. Now, most of the graduating classes are very happy. Well, I'm thinking back, and ours was a very sad graduation. I don't think there was a soul in the class that didn't cry, because half of the boys never came back.
Okay. Because they went off to war?
Yes, they were killed in war. Yeah.
How did the war change your life?
Well, now going back to the war again, we had food rationing. There was gas rationing. There was tire rationing or whatever. But anyway, now I'm talking about farm life now. So we really could not go very many places because the gas had to go for farming and not for pleasure. And so I don't know how I should express that, but we were living a very simple life during that time.
Okay. What do you remember about the years immediately following World War II?
Well, should I say we had to gather ourselves together a little bit, and I think that religion was very high in our minds. I mean, churches were very flourishing, and I don't know, at the time of after World War II, then people could buy something more as what they could beforehand, you know. I mean, I have to go back to farming again. During the war, farmers just didn't buy any machinery because you couldn't get any. And, you know, the steel and everything was used for the war. And so after that, well then, when the war was over with, well then finally some decent machinery came out, and so then they could buy something good again. And, oh, I don't know what else I could think about.
Was rationing done?
Oh yes, that was done then. Yes, yes, yeah. And I don't know. I can't think of anything else that really, you know, you'd probably be interested in. I could go back to the rationing part, if you want to listen to that. We had little tokens that we would take to the store, and you would get so many pounds of flour, so many pounds of sugar, and that had to last you for at least a month. And then you'd go back again and get something more. So you could see where I said before that we didn't have very extravagant meals. We just had the basic meal that we got along with. But we didn't suffer because being on the farm, we had milk, and we had meat, we had vegetables and everything. We had fruit because we had fruit trees on the place. And so I guess it didn't change really that horribly much, except for that we could buy more things. That was about the only thing.
Okay. What was it like living through the Great Depression as a kid? Did it affect you, do you think, anyway?
Not that I can remember. I just know that we didn't have all the clothing that we have today, and we made it do. And if the men, if they had overalls, it got patched over patched. And I remember my mother cutting up some of her dresses that she had as a young lady, and she made dresses for me. And you just didn't go out and buy things.
Okay. How did the Great Depression affect your view on life?
To be very conservative.
Okay. And then last one. What was it like being a woman during that time? Do you think it was any different than? Well,
should I say the women did not go out of the home and work. They worked together as a family on the. I always have to go back to the farm because I'm not a city girl. I'm a farm girl, and my mother worked side by side with my dad, and I guess that was about it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, it was fun.